Welcome back, everybody. We are going to make some fresh pasta today. It's a beautiful sunny day out, thankfully, and let's make some fresh pasta. Fresh pasta is great in the summertime because you can utilize all the fresh vegetables in your garden to toss in to your pasta dish. We've definitely made dry pasta in class before, but fresh pasta is a little different story. Really nice and light to work with, and different texture than dried pasta. So I think you'll find this really fun and easy to make. It consists of just 2 ingredients today, and it's all-purpose flour and eggs, and it's roughly about a cup of flour and 1 egg per portion or per serving or individual that you're making pasta for. If you're new to making fresh pasta, let's start with 3/4 of a cup of flour, just so that it's easier to mix, and then we'll continue to add a bit more. I'm using a recipe from Cookbook Italy. Italy is an Italian food market in New York, and they recently opened one in Toronto in the Eaton Center. I'm really excited to someday visit. Haven't yet, but let's follow along and make some fresh pasta. Oh, we're gonna make 2 servings of pasta. So I'm gonna start with 1.5 cups of flour, or you can go right ahead with your 2 cups of flour, but if you want to be on the safe side, start with a 3/4 cup per portion. So we are going to start with a pile here on my wooden island or bench top. Right, I'm going to make a bit of a well in the center. Keep our flour handy. Crack on a flat surface. I find your egg breaks less actually on a flat surface. And let's make a bit more room for our second egg. I'm gonna get this guy in. And your pasta is going to be different depending on the size of your eggs. I'm using 2 large eggs, but if you have medium eggs, you might end up using a little less flour. So that's why it's kind of handy to start with a little less. So you're gradually just adding a little flour into your well, and it might happen faster than you like here, but we're just folding it over itself. Adding it to the center. Helps to have a bench scraper. You guys know those. Kind of like you're kneading it. Bringing it all together. And it's inevitable that your fingers are going to get a little sticky with this step. Okay. And you'll notice with fresh pasta it has a different color too, usually, from the egg yolks, and the yolks will be different colors too depending on the diet of your chicken. Pasta in Italy isn't made with eggs in every region, but in the south of Italy they definitely make egg pasta. Okay, so I'm going to keep kneading this, and we'll come back in a couple of minutes and see how it's come together. Okay, we're back, and our forearms are maybe a little bit sore. I'd move it over onto the countertop so I could get a bit more weight behind my kneading, but your dough should have a nice soft surface, at least at the top now, or smooth surface more so, not soft, like a teddy bear. What we've just done is we've developed the gluten. Remember, gluten's the protein found in wheat. This is wheat flour, right? And gluten, that protein, once developed, mixed with water and stretched out or kneaded, it is going to become quite have a lot of elasticity. And it will stretch really nice for you to make a nice thin pasta. But it's been well exercised right now, so you've kneaded it. It's got a lot of spring back too though right now, so for it to relax a little bit, for that gluten to relax, we need to give it what's called a bench rest. This is your bench top, remember? Bench rest, just like in boxing maybe. We're gonna let this dough sit off to the side, and so that it doesn't dry out, we can just cover it with like a bowl, turn it upside down, or a piece of plastic wrap. But this works for half an hour. So we've given our dough a bench rest. Okay, smooth on the top. All right, it's gonna feel pretty stiff. We don't want a sticky dough, or that's going to get stuck when you're rolling it out, or stuck when you're putting it through your pasta press. Okay, it's going to be stiff and smooth. And you've got to do this bench rest step, or else you're going to end up with pasta dough that just keeps springing back on you, and it's going to be really hard to roll out by hand, especially if you haven't given it that bench rest. So half an hour. Be patient. Go tell your mother that you love her. Voila, this little tiny present. This dough has rested, and you can feel it. It doesn't give a whole lot of resistance when you squeeze it. So the gluten has relaxed and it's ready to roll out. I'm not going to roll it all out at once. I'm going to cut it into about, I don't know, ping pong size ball sizes, pieces, and cover the rest up as I roll it out. I'll do some by hand and some with the extruder or the Knead mix as well. So start by pressing it out some with your hands. Then you're going to use a rolling pin. You're not going to need a whole lot of flour for this because the dough isn't overly sticky. I'm probably going to have to switch to my countertop because this island will move around on me too much, and I have to get some elbow grease. So I'm going to just start by rolling one way and then the other. Put some weight behind it. We're going to do this until we can basically blow from below and the pasta will ripple. Okay? Or some people say you can read a love letter through it. But no, you're not going to. I've been rolling this out. Let's test the theory. You see a little bit of a ripple? Okay, I can even keep going. I can see some like I can see the grain in the table through this. But you can go a little longer. The thinner the better, really, with pasta. Okay, you want it to be nice and light when you eat it. All right, and you can see I've now gone and put it through the extruder, so it gets quite a bit longer and thinner. Very translucent. I can't hold it up. It's like a mask. Okay, so from here, if you don't have a pasta cutter, you're going to flour your dough. It's not sticky anyway, but you're going to flour your dough and lightly fold it up just a few times. You don't have to, don't roll it. Definitely don't roll it tight. And then you're going to cut it to the thickness that you want. Okay, so if I want spaghetti, I'm going to cut really thin. Or if I want linguine, about 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to go with a linguine type size. Okay. Okay, and then you want to open them up right away. Don't let them sit rolled up. Okay. And toss them in some more flour if it's going to sit for a little while, because the flour will absorb into it and they'll start to stick. All right, let's see. Okay, there is your pasta noodles. Beautiful. Mwah. So these are technically, this would be about enough for one serving. It's going to expand quite a bit, definitely double in size. Drop this into boiling water so the water is convecting, making a circular motion, and that's going to turn your pasta. Also salt your water when you're making pasta always. And with fresh pasta, you cook it only for about 4 to 5 minutes. It will raise, or it will come to the top of the surface of the water, and you can scoop it out. Especially don't drain the water if you're going to do several servings of pasta. Okay, so as you've rolled and cut, then you're going to unravel all of your pasta, coat it in some flour so it doesn't stick, and have your different bundles of pasta. All right, kind of a mess.